Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Rami's Retro. Finally, the much awaited, long awaited What Sold video. And we, unfortunately, my bad, we are going all the way back to the beginning of April. That is when we did our last What Sold video, was in March. So we've got a few months to go over here now, but let's jump in and get started. Now, I will say first off that a couple of things on here I don't remember what I paid, and I thought I wrote it down, but if I did, I can't find it. So there's that. But we're just gonna, most things I can kind of remember. A few things we just guessed based on what I usually pay for items. You'll get the gist of it at least, and the most important part of it obviously is to see what sold and for how much, not necessarily what I paid for it. I got everything for pretty cheap. I bought it at the Goodwill. So first thing, on the 3rd of April, we sold the Lucite seashell clock. I don't know if you remember me picking that up, but I think it was the first clock I ever bought, and I thought it was really cool and super fun and super 80s looking, and it would be really cool in a kitchen. So I picked that up for $5.49, I think, and it sold for $26. It was listed for a little while, but it did, and it got some really good interest, and it finally sold for $26. So that was a sweet sale to start off April. Also on the 3rd of April, I sold the Hawaiian Tiki figure. It was sort of crudely done. It wasn't really intricate or anything. I think I paid $1.49 for that, and that wound up selling for $6. Not a big, huge, giant sale, but it was nice to get it out of here. Then on the next day, on the 4th of April, I sold the embroidered square tablecloths. I think we got that for $3.49, and I wound up selling that for $22.30. I did do free shipping on that, so I had to pay for the shipping, but I think it was like $3 or something like that. So I still wound up making about $20 off of that. Next, also on the 4th of April, we have the Studio Pottery large tray that sold. I'm pretty sure I paid $7.49 for that. It was such a beautiful, beautiful piece. The gorgeous glaze on that. I sold it for $77.60, but as well as I felt I packed it, it still arrived broken, and the seller or the buyer sent me a picture of it that it was busted, so I refunded him his $77. So that sucked. And it kind of started the ball rolling for a few other things, that kind of sucked, so that was bad. But next, on the 6th of April, we sold the little porcelain footed box with the purple violets on it. I know I have this on a video, but I looked and I couldn't find the video. I'm pretty sure I paid $3.49 for that, if I didn't pay less, if it wasn't like $1.50. I just can't remember. But we'll say $3.49. It sold for $16, so not bad on that. Then we have a Hazel Atlas apple dish. It was white milk glass apple dish. We sold that on the 7th of April. I paid kind of a lot for that, if I can recall. I couldn't find the video for that either, but I think I paid like $5.49 for it, and they don't go for very much. So I was happy to get rid of it for $10. I made a little bit of money, and I got it out of the house. On the 7th of April as well, we sold a cat and little baby kitten planter that we picked up for $2.49. Sold that for $16.45. Also, the Martha Stewart blue dot bowls. They're kind of a Pyrex knockoff mixing bowl set that we got. We got those for $6.49, and we sold those for $47.60. So that was a sweet profit on those. They actually weren't listed. There were no listed auctions and no solds for those. So I was a little bit nervous about what would happen with them. I'm glad they sold. I think they're totally worth every penny of that. They're really pretty, from Macy's. So Then we sold the bamboo with pandas planter, and that we paid $2.49 for, and that sold for $14.60. Then we had a porcelain bird figurine by Brins, I believe was the maker of that. I think we paid $2.49 for that as well. We usually do for those bird figurines. And that sold for $19.45. Then also there was a Studio Pottery set of 3 cups. They were 99 cents each, and we sold that set of 3 for $25. It was all on the 7th of April. Also, there was a pewter pitcher that I got. Royal Holland, I think, is who made that. And not even an hour after I listed it, it sold for $15. So I was very happy with that. I kind of think maybe I didn't list it for enough. Maybe I was too low on that item. We paid $3.49 for it, so we made some money off of that. Then this was the next day on the 8th of April. Finally, we sold the Talavera Sun platter. It was like a wall hanging, or you could use it as a platter. That we paid $9.49 for. That we picked that up almost at the beginning of my journey with all of this YouTube stuff in one of my earlier videos. So that was definitely something that was sitting around for a while. I do remember that a couple of times I got some really, really low offers on it, and I counter offered and got no response. So I was happy when that sold for $25. Then we have a Kemper pitcher that sold on the 9th of April. And these Kemper pieces, I'm like blown away by them. They're very inconspicuous, but they go for a lot. I'm pretty sure that we paid $1.49 for that pitcher. I'm sure we did not pay more than $3.49, $4 for it. And it sold for $20. So super excited for that. Then there was this really pretty tropical needlepoint picture that had palm trees. It was really, really lovely. We sold that on 4/10. We paid $4.49 for that, and it sold for $38.72. Pretty quickly, not too long after I listed it. I don't think that was the same day, but I think it might have been the next day. Then we had an art glass purple flower, very Murano-esque, but I wasn't sure if it was or wasn't. Shh, be quiet. That's Skeeter. He likes to make noise and annoy me. So the purple art glass flower, we sold that on the 10th of April as well. We paid $2.49 for that, and we sold it for $40. So, yay. Then there was a really cute Studio Pottery small pitcher that sold on the 11th of April. $2.49 we paid for that as well. And not a pitcher, I'm sorry, a planter. Duh. And we sold that for $10. I think I took an offer on that. It was sitting around for a little while as well. And it was small and cute, so I took the $10 so I could get the sale. Then there was a couple of dry days, but on the 14th, we hit a home run. We sold the kind of Bob Ross style landscape painting. We picked that painting up for $9.49, and it sold for $119. So yay, that's always great to sell art. It sells really, really well if you pick up the right pieces, especially original art. Fantastic sale for that. Then we had the ceramic turquoise leaf dish, and that was a piece that I picked up when I traveled to South Dakota for work. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and check out that video. It was posted back in February. That was a really, really cute dish, and it was very specific to South Dakota. It was kind of a hobbyist piece, I guess, and it was painted and glazed and everything in South Dakota, not far from Sioux Falls, which is where I was. So we paid $3 for that cute little dish and brought that home on the plane, and it sold for $26.45. So super, super happy with the profit on that item. We also, that same day, sold the glass snack trays with cups. There was 6 fish-shaped glass snack dishes with little cups to match that I got for them. We paid $18.43 for all of it. I had to kind of put things together. The plates were on their own for $2.49 each, and then I got a baggie with cups that I thought looked really, really good with it, and they fit in the little kind of crevice that was in the plate. They fit in that really, really well, and so the baggie was $3.49, and we wound up selling that whole set for $47.50, so another great score there. And then in a baggie with some other different assorted things and other cats and things like that, we got a set of Homeco kittens with little balls of yarn. That was $7.49 we paid for that, and it sold for $12.99, so not a huge profit when you look at the $7.49, but then like I said, there were other items in that bag as well. Then on $4.15, we got the large clear glass fish platter sold. We paid $8.49 for that. It kind of went along with the fishy plates. I'm pretty sure it went to the same buyer as well. $8.49 we paid for that. We sold it for $22. Then we had the Indiana Glass Zodiac Scorpio Cup. That sold pretty soon after I listed it as well. We paid $5.49 for it, I think. Maybe $4.49? I'm not sure. But somewhere around there. And I got an offer for $27, and that's around where the majority of them sell for. I listed it a little higher than that. So I took the $27 and got it out of here. Then we had a cute little Westmoreland toothpick holder. We sold that on $4.15 as well. We paid $1.49 for that and sold it for $7. So just a quick, easy sale there. Then really awesome DeGrazia Roadrunner print. If y'all remember me picking that up, I was kind of on the fence about it. It was a little big, kind of an awkward shape. Thankfully, somebody who lives just up north of here in Prescott, I think, or Payson, one of those, purchased it on $4.16. We paid $5.49 for that, and it sold for $67.60 plus shipping. Of course, all of this is plus shipping. So got that out of here, and thank God I had a box that it fit in perfectly. So it shipped, it got there safe. I was happy. Then also on $4.16, we sold the Tracy Porter glass vases, pair of hand-painted vases. We paid $1.49 each for those. We sold the pair for $15. Then this is what I alluded to earlier, the kind of fiasco that was premonition by the broken platter. And it was totally 100%, 110% my fault. I don't know if I was tired or what happened. When I'm shipping multiple items in the same day and packing things up, I always pull up my eBay app and I look to make sure that I'm putting the right address label on the right thing. So I don't know what happened, but 2 packages got mixed up and switched. And so the person who bought the one thing got the other person's thing, and vice versa. And one person was very pleasant and very cooperative about it, but the other person was not, to say the least. So $4.18, we sold the porcelain nun figurine, very cute little girl. We sold that for $14. We paid $1.49 for it. So simple, easy sale. Well, also we sold the nursery rhyme cookie jar. We paid $4.49 for that, and we sold that for $27.05. I packed them up and I shipped them at the same time, and the person who was supposed to get the nun got the cookie jar, and the person who was supposed to get the cookie jar got the nun. And he contacted me first and said, I got this nun and I was supposed to get a cookie jar. And I said, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I said, well, if you could ship the nun back to me, I will contact the other buyer and have them ship your cookie jar back to me, and I will refund you your shipping, and I will pay for everything shipping back, and I will also refund you a little portion of what you paid for the item, for your trouble, I'm so sorry, I don't know how this happened, blah, blah, blah. Well, he wasn't very pleasant. He was just very sarcastic and rude, and well, he was unpleasant. Let's just put it that way. He did wind up shipping me back the nun, and the woman who got the cookie jar, unfortunately, she refused the package because she, unlike the guy, she hadn't opened it or anything. So she kind of took it back to the post office and said, here, this was shipped to me by mistake. I didn't open it. Can you just return it to the sender? Well, they did that, but when it got to me, it was in pieces. I don't think that the post office really cares about packages one way or the other, but they certainly don't care as much about them when they are being returned to sender, taking their time, and they're not getting paid extra for that. So it was a disastrous mess. There were pieces of it falling out of the box when it got here. Not good. The nun came back perfectly fine, and I shipped it out to her, and she was very nice, and she apologized, and I apologized, and everything was great. But the cookie jar guy, not so much. So I gave him a full refund. I explained to him, what happened, that it came to me and it was in pieces. And again, he was just very, very unpleasant and rude. So that was an unfortunate mess. And it really brought me down emotionally. It was like this big giant mistake, and it took like a week and a half to resolve everything with the shipping times. And so it was just, it was a bummer. So the moral of the story is check and double check and triple check everything, and make sure you're putting the right labels on the right boxes, because that was pretty rough. And like I said, it really brought me down and kind of threw me into a little bit of a wiggly mode, a little bit of a depression, but it is what it is. So, and of course it cost me a lot of money. That part sucked too. Then on 4/21, we sold this teeny tiny cute little painting that was kind of surrounded in burlap in a little white frame. Very, very cheap. It was $1.49. I had to pick it up because it was so cute. We sold that for $10. Quick, easy. Then this one I did as an auction because I noticed, first of all, that there were a lot listed and not a whole lot sold, and that they didn't sell for much. And also, it had kind of a couple little teeny tiny flea bite chips on the dishes. But it was a pair of Hazel Atlas apple snack dishes or whatever. Little cute guys. They were $3.49 each, I'm pretty sure. And we wound up selling those in an auction style, and only one person bid on them. So they left the house for 99 cents. I lost a little bit of money on that, but it is what it is. Then on 4/25, we sold the needlepoint sewing themed Busy Hands Happy Hearts. It's a little framed needlepoint that I got. We picked that up for $1.49, and we sold it for $12. This was another wiggly transaction, and it was just one after the other. April was a tough month, but if you recall, when we picked up those Adobe canister set, it was a little handmade hobbyist piece. It was really well done though, and there were lots of pieces, quite a few little canisters, and then like even a little soap dispenser. We picked those up for $38 total for all the pieces. So I was in it a little bit, and we wound up, I listed them for, I can't remember how much, I want to say like $120 or $140. And I got a couple offers, but I finally decided to take an offer for $80. And the person who purchased them, there was another wiggly mix-up in the shipping. I think it was just a slight delay. It wasn't anything major because she wound up getting them the next day, but she sent me a message that was very exasperated and kind of sarcastic and a little bit impatient sounding and rude, and where's my stuff? I paid you and I want my stuff, my canisters. And I said, well, I don't know, like, hold on, it says, I was at work, and when I looked at it quick, it said that it was shipping. It was, still shipping. It was en route, I think it said. Yes, I wish I kind of had held out for longer and not sold it to her, because I don't like selling things to people who are rude or mean. I don't want the things that I get with so much joy with all of you to go to somebody who's unpleasant. And that really cool canister set kind of did. So that was a bummer, but hey, I got my 80 bucks. I made $40 profit, so I guess we'll take it. Then we sold those cute little Hagen Renaker kitty cats. We sold the black and white kitty for $14.45. And we sold the Siamese cat trio for $20.50. And both of those came in a little baggie for $5.49, as well as the three additional like small kitty cats, one of which I thought was maybe Hagen Renaker, but I wasn't sure. I couldn't find any other like postings for it. But we sold those kitty cats as well for $15.50. So total on a $5.49 investment, you know, was quite a bit of money. What, $30, $40, $50 profit on that. Then there was a cute little yellow cat. I think I got that at Bookman's, actually. Well, you weren't with me because I've never filmed there before, but if you aren't familiar with Bookman's, it's a secondhand bookstore, but they also sell a lot of tchotchke type items. So it was there for $3.50. I thought it was super cute, and we sold that for $19.75. Then there was also the Kali salt and pepper shakers. I couldn't find those. I looked in all my books. I tried to go through videos. I couldn't find them. I couldn't remember when I picked them up. But I think we got them for $4.49. That's usually what I paid for that type of a thing. I think they were actually in a baggie for $4.49. And we sold those for $19.10. Then we had the MCM owl wood carved figurine. So very mid-century, cool little wooden owl figure. I'm pretty sure I paid $3.49 for that, and we sold it for $16.60. Then there was the brass and pewter duck box. We paid $6.49 for that, and we wound up selling it for $12.65. Not a huge profit there. I realized after I got it that they don't usually sell for a tremendous lot, so I was happy to get the $12. Then we had a really cute little porcelain photo frame by iRice. Those little porcelain frames, some of them can be really, really profitable. And that particular one we purchased for $1.49, and we sold it for $18.75. So I was super happy about that. It was a great way to start May off strong, because that was a purchase that was made on May 1st. Then on May 2nd, there was a Paul Bell vase or ewer, little pitcher. Another really fantastic group of items to look for and to resell are those sort of Judaica type of items. They sell really well, and they're sought after for some reason. People are always looking for them. We paid $7.49 for that, and we got a pretty low offer right off the bat. I think the same day, that night, or the next day. Really, really low offer. I said no. I countered with something a little higher. They said no. I'm glad I held out, because it sold for 50 bucks not too long after that. So very happy with a $50 sale for a $7 investment. On 5/3, we sold the Coco Joe's Tiki Bookend pair, and I remember I bought those together, and they were $7.49 each. And I was a little apprehensive about putting $15 into this, not knowing where they were going to go. But they wound up selling to a really, really super nice lady. She bought them as a gift for her brother, I think she said, for $38. So that was good. Glad to get rid of them. On the 4th of May, we sold the San Francisco trolley planter. We got that for $3.49, and we sold it for 10 bucks. It had a little chip on the top, and from what I could tell, quite a few of them actually came with a lid, and this one didn't have a lid. It was supposed to be a box. I called it a planter because it didn't have a lid, and you could use it as a little planter or a catch-all or whatever. So I was happy with the 10 bucks. On the 5th of May, we sold the Homco bear figurines. Those, again, came in a baggie with some other things for $4.49. I decided to do them as an auction and see what happened. I listed them for 99 cents. They sold for 99 cents. It's okay. On the 7th of May, we have the wood letter or mail holder, made in India, hand carved, really pretty. Those are another really great thing to pick up. Anything that's hand carved, made of wood, all of those are very popular. We paid $2.49 for it, and we sold it for $15. Then on 5/9, this is an item that I've had for a million years. I got it at the Goodwill before I started filming, so before we started our adventure together. It was a little plate, decorative plate by Nippon, and I think I paid $2.49 for it. It came with a plate holder on it. Somebody had been using it as a decorative piece on the wall. I took the plate holder off. You really shouldn't use those if you can avoid it. They are not good for your plates. And I had it listed forever, and I finally sold it for $10. So I was happy with the $10. Get rid of it. Then on 5/10, I sold these really cool margarita glasses from Pier 1. They had these little colored sort of pieces all throughout them. They were really, really neat. We paid $3.49 each for those, and we wound up selling the pair for $27.59. Then there was a cute little Goebel Farm Boy figurine with little pigs, and we paid $5.49 for that, and we sold it for $20 pretty soon after we listed it. And on 5/14, there was a Rosemead Wolfhound figurine, and I do remember picking that up at the Savers. It was really neat. I wasn't sure if I should get it or not until I kind of looked it up and saw that they were sort of collectible, but we sat on that for quite some time until we found the right buyer. But boy, did we, because we paid $7.49 for that, and we wound up selling it for $74.45. So I was super pleased with that. Then on 5/19, we had the Artmark Angel figurine. I sold that to one of you viewers. We paid $1.49 for that little girl, little singleton, all by herself. And we sold her for $11.89. So she has a good home. 5/19, the Pottery Pig figurine made in England. That was in a baggie as well, I think, with a couple of the other things. I think it was in a baggie with a bunch of pig stuff, actually. So the first thing to sell out of that baggie that was $3.49, that sold for $4.70. Not a huge profit for that, but more than I paid for the whole bag, so I'm good. Then we had the Sigma Italy Rooster Pitcher. I'm pretty sure I paid $5.49 for that, and we sold it for $22.95. Those are pretty popular, but you do see a lot of them, so be careful about the ones that you pick up. And there's a lot of fakes out there that are made in other places. They don't have any markings on the bottom. They look cheaper, you can kind of tell. So just make sure that if you grab that, you're grabbing the right kind. Then there was a carved elephant family, a set of 3 carved wood elephants, really cute. We paid $6.49 for those little dudes, and we sold them for $36.65. Yes, please. Then we had the iRice Owl Nightlight. I almost passed this up because it was in the electronics section at the Goodwill, and it was just so cute sitting there on the shelf. We went and tested it. It worked wonderfully. And so we paid $2.49 for that little cutie pie, and we sold him for $27.46. Then Avon 1984 Duck and Baby Planter. This is another item that kind of doesn't have a tremendous lot of resale, but I thought it was cute, and we picked that up for $2.49. Listed it kind of low, got $12.75 for it. I was happy with that. Then there was another little pig, a porcelain pig, Otagiri type style, that was in that same bag with the other piggy and some other piggies. So $3.49. We sold that guy for $14.05. So score on that, pure profit. Then the wall pocket, shaped like a skillet, had little cherries on it. Very, very cute, super unique. I couldn't find any listed. I couldn't find any sold. I couldn't find any on a Google image search. But when I went to clean it and get the sticker off of it and give it a good cleaning, be careful, you guys, because the cherries started to lose their paint and completely lost their shiny finish. So I was very bummed about that, and I figured, well, I mean, I think it still has value. Someone might still think it's cute. Someone might be able to fix it if they know how. So I listed it as an auction for 99 cents starting bid, and it sold for $3.25, but we paid $5.49 for it. So lost a little bit of money there. Not a tremendous lot, but moral of the story on that one is be careful when you're cleaning. Make sure that if you're using any kind of detergent or cleaner or solvents, that it's okay to use on that item, and if you're unsure, don't. And if you're unsure about getting it wet, don't. Sometimes it might just be better if you can get the sticker off easy enough to just not clean it and let the person who buys it figure out how they want to take care of cleaning it. I mean, unless it's super gross, but still. Then on 527, the 1950 Hull dog with yarn planter. So cute. And it had an inscription on the bottom. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it had a date, and it was like, given to so-and-so on her like 10th birthday or 13th birthday or something like that. And it was forever ago in the 1940s. So I thought it was really, really cool that it had that provenance. We paid $3.49 for that, and it sold for $22. Then there were a pair of elephant bookends. Those sat around for a little while, but they did finally sell. We paid $4.49 each for them, and they sold for $40. Then a really cool, that same day, we sold the Berenstain Bears lamp. Such a fun find. Berenstain Bears are totally my generation, so it was cool to see it and find it. It did not come with a shade originally, so I did have to search around for a shade that I thought would look cute with it, and I did finally find one a couple weeks later. So all told, it was a $6.49 investment on the really cute lamp, and we sold it for $40. So yay. Then we had also on 527 the Napco dog planter. Kind of a little doggy with a blue bow. Really, really cute. Another cute dog planter. $2.49. I'm pretty sure we paid for that little guy. And it sold for $24. Then we have the blue and white cat box. Quite a few of those listed, and also quite a few of those sold. Not necessarily very intricate or very well made, but definitely cute, and people who like animals or cats specifically, any kind of dog stuff, cat stuff, just does really, really well because people like dogs and people like cats. We paid $4.49 for it, I think. I don't think we paid more than that. I couldn't find it. Again, it was one of those things that I know I wrote it down, but it's not in any of my little books. I need to find a better, more organized way of doing that, of logging everything, but I'm old school and I just write it all down in a little notebook. So anyways, I think we paid $4.49. We sold it for $15. I was happy with that. Then we had a cute little tiny Delft blue and white dog. That's an item that I bought off camera at a Goodwill. I was going in to kind of check out a few things, and it was the only thing I found. And so when I got up to the checkout, it didn't have a price on it. It was just sitting on the shelf. And so when I got up to the checkout, I told the guy, hey, like this, I found this, but there's no price. And he's like, just go, just have a great day. So I was like, oh, okay. Ran out the door with my free little doggy. And we wound up selling it for $3.25. Because it was free, I wasn't sure what it was really going to be worth. And so I just listed it as an auction style at 99-cent starting bid, and it sold for $3.25. I was happy with that. It was free. And the person that it went to is a very, very loyal viewer and a wonderful shopper. Vanessa, I love you. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, cuz. So on 6/1, we'll do a few more here. We'll get into June. On 6/1, we started off strong with the skunk sign plaque. It's funny because around this time when all of this was selling, end of May, beginning of June, there was a viewer who was leaving a lot of negative comments on all of my videos. And this item is one of the items that she said, oh, that's a horrible thing to pick up. That's not going to sell. That type of stuff doesn't sell. Bad subject matter, she kept saying about all sorts of different things. Quite a few of those things have sold. And this is one of them. She said it was a bad subject matter. It was stupid to pick it up. It wasn't going to sell. It wasn't worth anything. But not too long after I listed it, it sold for $14.45. So, Miss Negative, you are wrong. And we paid $3.49 for it. So that was a really great profit. Also on 6/1, we sold the Home Interiors framed 1970s wall art decor. So super stinking cute. It did sit around for a little while, which was fine because I needed some time to find a box that it would fit in. And thankfully, not too long before it sold, I did. So it's just funny how all that works, how the universe just comes together for you. And that box was sitting there waiting, and boom, there we went. We paid $4.49 for it, I'm pretty sure, and it sold for $20. Then on 6/2, we had the little Victorian porcelain couple having tea. They had a little table. They were so super cute. I paid $6.49 for those little guys, and we sold them for $36.75. On 6/3, we had the metal flower candle holders, and this was my first shipping item to another country. So I was very excited about that. The guy that bought them lived in England, or lives in England. So we paid $5.49 for that pair of candle holders in a bag. They were in a baggie. They were just really, really cute. And we sold them for $14 to a dude in England. So yay, and he got them and he loved them and he was happy with them, and I got positive feedback, which was really cool. So yay for that. So when the next time I go live and someone asks me, where's the farthest you've sent something that somebody has purchased? Well, so far, England. So then on 6/3, we sold the miniature tea set, a little porcelain tea set that we got in a baggie for $5.49. We sold that for $13.25. Little sale, but they add up. Then there was the dolphin bottle opener, really cute little, it wasn't silver plate, it was just sort of like maybe chrome plated, silver colored metal dolphin shaped bottle opener. We paid 99 cents for it, and we sold it for $10.10. Then our first Artesania Rinconada figurine that we found. It was a really cute little giraffe. We found quite a few since then. Every one of them, except I think for one, has sold. But super, super cute giraffe. I was unsure about spending $7.49 for this giraffe because I'm pretty sure that's how much it was, $7.49, $8.49. But it sold for $26.50. Yay, score. They don't all sell for a tremendous lot. I think it's exciting to find them. That might be part of the thrill. Just, the hunt and actually finding it. Because they don't all sell for a tremendous lot, but some of them really, really do. So I guess you have to know which ones you're looking for. But every time I find one, I just pick it up because I think that they're super, super cute and they all have a little bit of value. Then we got the Swarovski pig figurine. That came in a baggie, again, with a bunch of pigs. And I think I did a little, in the video where I found that stuff, I think I kind of interjected a little bit, and I did an unboxing of the pig baggies, if I recall. I'm almost positive I did. Go back and binge watch my videos and find out. But I think I did. And anyways, that pig came in a baggie with a bunch of other piggy stuff, a $3.49 baggie. But that Swarovski pig was a nice one. And I sold it for $64.45. Super sweet score. Then we had a cute little trinket dish by House. Have a blast on your birthday. Super cute. And that stuff sells really well too, you guys. So if you find any of those little trays or trinket dishes or ashtrays from the 60s and 70s with cute little sayings on them, grab them. They really do. They're a bread and butter item. They're not going to make you $1 million, but they definitely have interest, and they do sell. People like to buy them for other people, for gifts, so grab those. We paid $1.49 for that. We sold it for $10. I'll take it. Then there were these cute little blue base martini glasses. They were 99 cents each. I'm almost positive. I remember picking them up, but I couldn't find that video. But I'm almost positive they were 99 cents each. So there was a pair of them, $2. And we sold those guys for $32.30. So very happy with that. The Art Glass Green Face Candle Holder. I think it was Jaramillo Brothers candle holder. So beautiful. I almost kept it for myself. I loved it so much. I love faces. I love hands. Anything faces and hands, that's kind of my jam. So I really, really liked it. But I did list it, and it was listed for a while. Lots of interest, and it finally did sell. We paid $7.49 for it, and we sold it for $89.99. Score. Then we had the Maya Japan Sake set. Another thing that if they're new or newer, especially new in box, I've seen a couple of those and I should have grabbed them. There's a lot that sell. When I looked this up, just lots and lots of sake sets that were selling. So if it's really unique or fun looking, I think Asian themed things in general just kind of do really well. But this we paid $5.49 for, and we sold it, I think, the same day for $17.49. So I was happy with that. Then, so in one video, we saw these glassware, drinkware, tumblers, and they were clear glass, and they had brown like suns and little like waves, like swirly lines on them. There were 6 of them. And I liked them, but they were kind of blah. They were kind of dull, like 70s, but like the blah kind of 70s. Like not the bright, fun 70s. And so, like a fool, I passed on them. And I want to say it was like 2 or 3 weeks, if not longer, later, we went back to that same Goodwill, and they were still there. They were 99 cents a piece for 6 of them. This time, I was like, okay, I hear you, and I bought them. 6 glasses, $6 investment. How could I go wrong? They were cute. They were a little faded on a couple of them, but so what? They wound up selling to a lady who was super happy with them. She said, I think I had these like forever ago. So it obviously triggered some nostalgia in her, and she shelled out $22, and now they are hers. So I paid $6, I got $22. Happy with that. Then we found on 6/9, we sold a Bob's Big Boy Bank. And it's Shoney's, I think, back east. But here in Arizona, it used to be called Bob's. We don't have them anymore. They went out of business years and years and years ago. But we did have one down the street from where I grew up, and there was a great big giant Bob's standing outside next to the front door, Bob's Big Boy. And so when I saw the bank, I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. That's awesome. And it was in great condition. So we picked that up for $2.49, and we sold it the same day, I think that night, if not the next day. We sold it almost immediately for $14. So I was happy with that. That's about the price that they go for. There was a lot that were listed and a lot that sold. So I was just happy that mine sold. Then we had, on 6/10, we sold the Bulova carriage clock. We held on to that for a really long time. It took me a while to list it, so my bad. But then it was listed for a while as well. Part of it was broken. It did have some damage. It was functioning, but I think the alarm was broken. It wasn't functional anymore, so you couldn't use it as an alarm clock, but it was still cute and fun. And that, too, sold to somebody in England for $10. We paid $3.49 for it, and we sold it for $10 to someone in Great Britain. So I was very happy with that. Then we had on 6/12, we had a big chunk of sales. We sold the Sasha Brastoff enamel over copper bowl that was on a pedestal. It was very hard for me to part with that. I collect Sasha Brastoff, so I didn't want to sell it, but I knew I could get some dollars for it. So we paid $5.49 for it, and we sold it for $44.70. Score. Then we had a set of snack plates and or snack bowls and plates. I don't know how much the bowls were. I didn't write it down, and I couldn't find it in the video. But I know that the plates, the set of 4 plates was $5.49. I want to say that the bowls were individual, and I think they were $2.49 a piece, but I can't remember 100% for sure. But we sold the whole set of 4 bowls and 4 plates for $47.70, and I was happy with that. Great profit. Cute little Julia Junkin ceramic trivet. We paid $1.49 for it. Does not have tremendous resale value. There are lots and lots and lots of them listed, so I was happy to get $9.55 for that. Then we had leather camel figurines that we got in a baggie. I remember picking these up. We were with our friend Lacey in a little partnership video. They were $5.49, really cute little camels. I listed them, and I think they sold that same day, if I'm not mistaken, for $18.45. So that was a score. Then we also had the Italian woven pottery bread bowl. It was a really cool color, like a dark mauve sort of basket weave. We paid $7.49 for that, and we sold it for $31.06. And I think I'm going to leave you here on this last one, because we held on to these cups and saucers for a really long time. And my friend Vanessa, my cuz, is the one who finally pulled the trigger and bought them. And I am so happy that she did, because it seems like a lot of the things that I really love and I don't want to sell, but I have to sell because I can't keep everything. She buys it. So it's almost like it's going to another person that's got the same passion for stuff that I do. So that made me happy that she got them. But if you recall, the green Art Deco swirly handle style porcelain cups and saucers, there were a bunch of them. There were a bunch of cups, a bunch of saucers, but they were expensive. They were $3.49 each for the saucer part, or the snack plate part, and then they were $2.49 each for the cups. So I only picked up a set of 4, but so altogether a $24 investment. But they sold for $70. And they sold to somebody that I love and that has been a huge support to me, and a wonderful friend that I made in this adventure. Excuse me. So I'm glad that she got them, and that's where we're going to end. And in the next video, we will pick up where we left off, which will be June the 12th. With more sold items, and that will also include everything, I think, for July and for August. And I'm going to work diligently to get that posted in the next couple of weeks, because on the 22nd of September, I am leaving for Lubbock, Texas. Dillard's, where I work, which is a department store, if you are unfamiliar with Dillard's, it's like a Macy's. They are opening a new store. Well, they're remodeling a building to move the Lubbock store from one building to a newer, better building. So not necessarily opening a new store, but opening a new store in Lubbock, Texas. And I, as a visual manager, I get to go and help set everything up and get it ready for business. So on the 22nd of September, I leave for a week to Lubbock. Now, in February, we went to Sioux Falls to open a new store there. And as you recall, I went to a Savers and I went to a Goodwill, and we got some really fun things, and I took you guys with me. I'm going to be doing the same thing in Lubbock, Texas. I've already looked up to see what kind of thrift stores situation they've got going on there. It looks like there's some fun stuff to be seen. I don't know exactly where I will be or where I will be staying or where the store is or any of that yet, but I will be finding out soon. And so stay tuned for, at the end of the month, a fantastic, wonderful adventure to Texas. Until then, thank you all for joining me tonight. I know that it took me forever to get this done. I promise, and I know I've said this before, I hate breaking promises, but I promise that I will be more diligent, and I will get on this, and I will try to do one at the beginning of the month for the previous month. That is a good plan. That is what I need to do. So I promise I will work harder to do that. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. I love you all so much. If you're new to the channel and this is the first video that you've watched, you've got a lot to catch up on. So please do make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I post a new video, and go check out my channel. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there in your travels. And until next time, bye.